So the following video is a introduction to breathwork and an introduction to sexual energy transmutation. And you're going to see, and I explain in bumbling detail about the ways that you can use this breathwork to manage cravings, manage urges, manage emotions, but also take control of your sexual energy. For me, I studied some Gnostic tradition, and I understood that the your semen is the power, and for a woman, your sexual energy too, is the life-giving power of the universe. It's the creative energy, the strongest of all. And if I could harness that, then I can do anything. And I began to, instead of just listening to my groin and my dick, is that instead of following it, it started following me. So I was able through breath work to begin moving that energy around and using it for other things, transmuting it from one form of creativity to another. I now send a message. I know I control when what I do with my sexual energy, when I choose to express it, and I am not the victim of being horny. And so a lot of you men who are in the crystal meth addiction or continue to relapse, that's where it starts. You get horny, you start sending pictures, you start getting on apps, you begin talking a little dirtier, you're looking for things to get horny about, blah, blah, blah. That's all great, that's all normal, it's fine, but it takes you on a wave. If you attach to it, it takes you on a wave to relapse. So why not, instead of doing that, instead of being like every other gay man, why don't you try breathing? Use the breath of life to move energy out from beneath your spine where your sexual organs are. Move it up your body. Why not try it? Okay, guys, module 2 is about sexual transmutation. We are learning to transmute energy. So if you remember, transmutation is about turning one thing into another. We're turning sexual energy into something else. So you could also use this with urges and cravings. When you have an urge, you can, if you master this breathing, then you can actually move the urge around your body and turn it into something else. Here's how I use transmutation of sexual energy. I will get, you get horny, right? I get really horny, and then I will do this breathing every morning. When I do the breathing, it moves that energy from here, obviously, where you feel it, up throughout my spine, up throughout my body, and then I immediately do something else. I'll immediately write. I'll immediately go running or to the gym. I'll start praying something or do an art piece, something creative. I want to do a task that I want to really focus on. A lot of us think, well, I can't focus till I jack off, or I can't sleep till I jack off. If you move that energy around, there's something about the strength and the ultimate creative energy that when you use it for other things, it actually you level up. You excel what you're already doing. I think clearer. My testosterone goes up. There's a lot of other benefits. Like I said, more energy. So this is not something you can master right away. It's strong energy. I believe sexual energy is actually the strongest of all energy forms on the planet. I believe it is akin to the creative energy that creates worlds. So if we just, and it comes out, and sorry if you're a woman watching this, but, or same thing with a woman. If it comes out in a different way, there's nothing completely wrong with that, but I think sometimes we're wasting it. We're wasting that opportunity to create something new. in this case and in this course, we're creating a new identity. We're creating a new timeline for ourselves. We are creating a new life. And what better to do that than the life-giving energy of our sexual desires and our sexual energy. What other word is there? Yeah, as you can tell, this course, this module wasn't exactly practiced in what I was going to say. And I think I'm looking at the wrong camera. Anyway, ignore all of that, and hopefully you got what I'm saying about sexual energy transmutation. But not just with sexual energy. Like I said, you have a strong craving to use, or let's say you have a strong emotion that you want to express. One thing that we want to talk about in this course is not suppressing your emotions. When you have an emotion come up that's anger, sadness, pride, lust, whatever, despair, you want to allow that emotion to fully express. Emotions, just like cravings, just like sexual urges, are waves. So if you can imagine it coming up like a wave, it comes up and it crests, just like in the ocean, and then it goes back. That's exactly how it moves. What we do, though, is when that emotion starts coming up, we find ways to suppress it. We don't want to feel it. We find ways to immediately be happy. We think to ourselves that we shouldn't feel this way. Or we do everything we can if it's a negative emotion to get rid of it. Or we don't try to ask it, why are you here? What are you showing me? What am I to learn from you? All that kind of thing. So when emotion comes up, just let it. What you do for me is I have to grab onto something sometimes because it's so intense, to allow an emotion to fully express itself. It goes up your body. You may feel your heart race. You may start to tremble. You may start to cry. That's a purging of the emotion. But let it intensify. Follow the thoughts that are with it too. We're going to talk about that more in this course, but when a thought is tied to an emotion, like if you're sad, if you've had a breakup or something, and you're trying not to think about it, think about it. Actually, let it go its full course. Like if you're feeling bad about yourself, that you dropped the ball, you're not good enough for that person, you're not ever going to find anybody, you know what? Let it spiral. Let those thoughts go to their full extent. And with each of those thoughts, when you let it go, the emotion intensifies. You get more sad and more sad and more sad. But guess what? It has to fully express. And when it recedes, you're going to feel such a purge. You're going to feel such a cleanse. You're going to probably want to pass out. It's almost like you've jacked off, right? You've ejaculated. You've climaxed. You let the emotion climax. That's not what this whole module is about, but it is important to know that when we are transmuting ourselves from one form of being to another, one state of consciousness to another, a big part of that is allowing emotions to fully express, allowing urges to fully express. When you have an urge or a craving to use, you have the phone and you want to grab the phone and you want to get on Sniffies or whatever the hell it is that you do, is be with that urge. Don't act on it quite yet, but observe it. Because I'm going to tell you something, it's also temporary and it wants to express itself. Let the urge go up like a wave and go back down. That urge will go away, I promise. Hopefully you can hear me on this. Okay. So that's emotions and urges. And with both, if you want to aid in the expression of it, you can practice this breathing. This is very introductory. I don't pretend to be certified in breath work. I'm just sharing what I do. And what I do is alkaline breathing. And of course, someone's going to start their leaf blower. But I do alkaline breathing. And alkaline breathing is you're going to put the tongue on the top of the mouth because you're creating a circle. If you can imagine a circle that comes from your groin and goes up the spine, through the brain, and then back down the body. When you breathe alkaline breathing, when you're doing transmutation, you are imagining that breath going in a circular motion throughout your body. You're taking that energy from here, literally, and bringing it up and circulating it throughout your body. Once you do that, then you can use it for other things, whatever it is you want to use it for. You want to study for school. This is a natural Adderall. We are wasting this energy sometimes by watching porn and gloobing all over ourselves. Splooging all over ourselves. Okay, anyway, so in the mornings, after you've done whatever you want to do, especially when you're feeling particularly horny, or at night, or during the day, whatever, you don't have to sit cross-legged. I like to test how long my legs will stay that way at this point in time. I used to sit on my knees, or you can sit up on a pillow. You can sit on something like a bed or a chair if you want to do that. That works too, whatever. I like doing it naked. Like I said, it seems to be more primal, and it seems to get me, it's something about it that gets me more in touch with that energy. And then you want to do this. So tongue on the top of the mouth, and then you're going to inhale through the nose. And when you inhale, you're going to rock your body back. When you rock your body back, you're expanding the diaphragm. So you're getting as much air in as possible. Sometimes I put my hands like this and just get as much air in as you can. And then you can do sips. A sip of air is, you want to keep sipping until you are completely full, and your diaphragm and your stomach will be expanded. And then you breathe out, you exhale through the mouth. And when you exhale through the mouth, you lean forward. And when you lean forward, squeeze your tummy in, squeeze your abs, and get rid of, and you can actually sip the other way. Make sure you get all that air out. That's the basic breathing. So inhale through the nose, tongue on the top of the mouth, lean back. Exhale through the mouth, lean forward. And I move my body back and forth. There's something about the physical movement that's going to move the energy also. That's scientific. That's science right there. Okay, so when you're doing this, when you inhale, when you put the tongue on the top of the mouth and inhale, you're going to do a Kegel. I know you know what a Kegel is. You're going to squeeze, like you can squeeze a Kegel, you can squeeze like you're trying not to fart. And just squeeze it. And when you squeeze, when you do that Kegel, you also, in your head, visualizing that ball of energy moving up the spine and up to the brain. So I'm squeezing, and then I let go and exhale. When I exhale and move forward, I imagine that ball going back down the front of my body. And each time it goes up and each time it goes down, it's a smaller ball, right? Because it's more circulated, it's more distributed throughout the body. You can do this slow, or you can do it fast. I like to do it really fast. I like to do it really quickly, because when you do this alkaline breathing quickly, you're also releasing natural DMT into your body. You may have visions, and there's something about that state of mind that when you do visualize that energy, it adds to it. It levels it up, the effort that you're doing. So as many times as you can. I already feel lightheaded. You're going to feel lightheaded. You're going to feel maybe a little bit like you might pass out. That's normal. You are pouring oxygen into your blood and into your brain, and that infusion of oxygen is going to get your heart rate going and wake up all of your body. Like, hello, we're up. Like, you can do this instead of drinking coffee in the morning, and it can energize you more. You can do this throughout the day, in the afternoon when you're feeling like that 3 o'clock slump. Do some of this alkaline breathing. It works. It takes some practice to have to squeeze, visualize, and do it all at once. So if the only thing you do is is lean back, your tongue on the top of the mouth, and then exhale forward. If that's all you can do, I know it looks a little silly. I don't give a fuck. How bad do you want this to happen? But do that only, and then you can add the Kegels, you can add the visualization, whatever you want to do. Now, there's all kinds of different breathing. There's breath of fire, there's Wim Hof, there's all sorts of holotropic breathing that you can do. It's all on YouTube. I learned this from YouTube. I learned this from my guides and my angels. I learned this from reading, watching people, going to retreats. This has been the best thing for me in terms of transmuting that sexual energy, transmuting that craving, transmuting that emotion. When you're rocking back and forth, if you have an emotion that you are craving or an emotion, when you're rocking back and forth, you can still do the Kegels. You don't have to, but I still imagine that emotion circulating. I'm helping the wave crest and end faster when I'm doing this. This is something that gets you in touch with your body more. You feel more energized, but you also feel closer to that higher version of yourself, that light, that observer. There's something about doing this and intentionally moving energy through your body that gets you more in tune with how you feel. It's really magical. I hope that you will try it. And what have I left out? I think that's it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I could do a breathwork session and record it if you want, but you've got it. You've got it. It's tongue on the top of the mouth, inhale through the nose, lean back, expand your diaphragm, do a Kegel, exhale through the mouth, lean forward, empty it out, and do it quickly. Now, one thing you can add to it that I like to do is when you lean back, and when you inhale and you lean back, is hold. When you add a hold to that, it adds the intensity to it. And I imagine that energy just like standing here, just waiting. Like, you know, like when a like when a dog is waiting for you to give them the signal to eat. That energy is like waiting. Can I go? Can I go? And I just hold and I'll hold. And also that's a time to really talk to that energy. You know, I want to use you for this. I want to use you to write. I want to use you to create content that touches millions. I want to use you to expand my personal power. I want to use you for what you were intended for, which is creation. So, hope that helps. See you in the next module.